A team of seafaring scientists rush to the rescue. One little citizen of Belize has gotten tangled up in big trouble. He must be freed.
No, it's okay, I say. Excellent. Now let's see if the mother's going to come round and find it. Yeah, it's a big one coming up.
An endangered creature, this baby manatee has virtually no chance of survival on its own. Located at the base of the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize is a sanctuary for many extraordinary creatures. But this pristine land is under siege, and Belizean conservationists battle to save a place they call paradise. The mangroves of Belize form the boundary between land and sea. Here on the edge, life takes some of its most wonderful twists and turns. The red mangroves, plants whose stilt-like roots seek the water, harbor a nursery of life. And a distant cousin to the elephant. Sailors imagined they were mermaids. They are sometimes called sea cows, but their proper name is manatee. Strange, curious, and endangered. In Belize, they have become a tourist attraction.
Every day you see something different. The animals, the reaction of the animals are very different. Sometimes we're sitting there watching, and then you see them all along the boat.
Known as Chocolate, this self-appointed protector of manatees has become a tourist magnet. And he is the resident expert of these pristine waters, called Swallow Key.
I've been so many years with them, and I get passion and a love for them, and I wanted to protect them. I wanted to do whatever I could to save the manatees in Belize. And not even for myself neither, but more of all, what I wanted to do is to leave something that the other generation of Belize got something to see. Come on, sweetie. Come on, baby. Yes, yes. Yes. Yeah, we love you.
Chocolate watches over these waters, posting signs and patrolling the area.
Manatees, I think, is one of the most endangered species in the world. And for my sake, my feeling, for so many years with them, I put all my effort to save them, to protect them. There's the other one coming there back there. Because every day they get killed because they are very gentle, they are very slow, you know, and I mean, I love them. And I very strongly support the manatees.
Some of the manatees' worst enemies may be the animals that most admire them, humans. Speeding boats are a constant danger to the slow underwater mammals.
The baby with the mother?
Yeah.
2 years breastfeeding, yeah. Wow, that's a good shot.
Mothers nurse their calves for almost 2 years in waters that are far from safe.
The female manatee, weighing an estimated 1,000 pounds, was first spotted about 100 yards offshore. According to Nicole Awill, a researcher with the Coastal Zone Management Project, they suspect the animal's death is part of a disturbing trend that they see taking place in the waters around Belize City.
That white scarring on the head would indicate that it was hit by a boat or a barge, and this area has a lot of boat traffic.
One of the biggest causes of death for manatees remains motorboats. Manatees must surface to breathe, coming perilously close to propellers. Sometimes an orphan gets left behind.
We found Woody at Buttonwood Bay, hence his name Woody, because we found him in Buttonwood Bay. Our concerns were that we would be able to keep him alive. We did not know its actual health status.
The fragile young manatee dubbed Woody begins his battle for survival at the Coastal Zone Management Authority under the care of Nicole Awill.
He took the bottle immediately, so that was a very positive sign. But we still did not know what things looked like inside. Our major concern was his health.
Nicole's fears for his health will prove well-founded. No one in Belize has ever raised a baby manatee in captivity.
When we got him 2 weeks ago, I estimated that he was about 2 to 3 weeks. So he would be about 4 to 5 weeks now.
In the first days, Woody put on pounds fast, quickly outgrowing his kiddie pool. Nicole sought shelter for the little manatee at the Belize Zoo. But to reach his full size, he will need more and more space, turning his life into an odyssey.
Of course, when you get a calf, it's very, you get attached. I mean, it's hard not to, but you shouldn't get attached. So we try to maintain our distance and only handle him when we need to. We don't do petting, we don't talk to him. We don't get attached like you would to a domestic animal, like a puppy or so.
Nicole's intensive care team knows that the little animal might not survive. Without his mother, Woody requires volunteers. He needs to be cared for 24 hours a day. Woody put on weight quickly, and the Belize Zoo built a still bigger pool for the calf.
Let's get him in there. Don't worry if he gets damaged. Gently. He's enjoying that, I can tell. Look at that. You remember what he was like this morning? The other one was supposed to... I mean, it's hard to catch him at the moment to feed him because he's never seen this much space.
For now, Woody holds his own, but it won't be long before he outgrows the Belize Zoo. If Woody survives, plans call for his release at Gales Point, a wildlife sanctuary. Here, the mermaids of Belize have turned a little community into a tourist attraction.
I would promote the manatee when I sing this song because people get interested and they ask about the manatees, and I tell them in Gales Point we have a manatee reserve. So a lot of people come down because of that. They want to see the manatee and come check out the village.
At Christmas, the celebration moves house to house, serenading the whole village. The manatee keepers from the Belize Zoo visit Gales Point to teach about the endangered mammals.
Just relax, enjoy yourselves, and have fun with your friends over here.
I love the manatee.
But will these endangered creatures still roam these waters of Gales Point when these children are grown? Gales Point is more than a safe harbor for manatees. The endangered hawksbill turtle returns generation after generation to these sands. This is where life begins again and again on a moonlit night along a remote beach. As many as 100 eggs are laid and then buried. This mother's work is done. Now the sands will mark the time until the hawksbill hatchlings race to the sea. From the beginning, the eggs are at risk.
You see where the turtle come out of the water right here?
Leroy Andruin serves as director of the Gales Point Sea Turtle Project. Leroy not only guards the nests, but where necessary he relocates the eggs. For over the years, he's witnessed the creatures slowly dying out.
Because when I was a little boy walking the beach, I enjoy looking at the turtles swimming out there, swimming. I go there and swim with them sometime. And it was nice. And the last, I would say about 9 or 10 years, to walk this beach, you cannot see one turtle, so I know they're getting scarce. They're dying out.
Leroy has watched over the birth of more than 23,000 hawksbills.
So by moving these eggs and put them at this same location, I think we have a better chance for the eggs to hatch. I will here to see the turtle that disappeared from Belize. I will just hate it.
The biggest threats to the nest are humans and small predators. Leroy's contraptions have foiled both.
Mark the spot so we could put the wire around it to secure it from the skunk.
This is not a job for Leroy. It is a calling. His whole life has been organized around the needs of the hawksbills.
And coming on close to the hatching time, we will come to this nest and check it closely. We will go watch it real close.
Trying to save endangered animals seldom is an easy matter. Even small complications become life-threatening. And especially trying to raise a baby in captivity, something never before done. At the Belize Zoo, Woody is very sick with intestinal problems. He's taken from his pool and wrapped in towels so his keepers may closely monitor his condition. But without his natural mother, science may prove short on answers.
What we would like to do is probably fly along here. What we'll probably do is make a few more circles.
Mapping the manatees' population in the mangroves is a project managed by James Buddy Powell, a marine biologist with the Wildlife Trust.
The manatees in here. And then the second flight is actually when we're going to be...
The mermaids may need protection from the tourist boats they attract.
Set on.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're doing is to try and to study manatees in depth here, to look at the effects of ecotourism, looking at how boats and so forth might impact manatees in Southern Lagoon. And what we found in Florida, for example, that you can actually kill the goose, lay the golden egg. Essentially, if you have too many boats going out, then you can actually begin to frighten the animals out of the lagoon.
In order to track the manatees in the wild, Buddy must first capture them. That means a high-tech Western-style roundup, complete with helicopters, hydrophones, radio antennas, and a self-deploying dragnet.
Good job, Cindy. Good job, Cindy.
A fully grown 12-foot manatee can weigh up to 2,000 thrashing pounds.
It's a male.
Going to the side.
We've just caught this male manatee in Southern Lagoon, and what we're doing right now is we're attaching a transmitter that allows us to follow its movements. We can see which areas it uses more than other areas. It allows us to follow their behaviors. The transmitters transmit up to satellites so we can keep track of them wherever they go, and we're doing the tracking here on the ground. And now with tagging these animals over and over again, we should get a lot of data on their reproduction. All of this is brand new information about manatees.
And in the wild precincts of Belize, information is the path to preservation of wild creatures like manatees and this, their precious habitat. They call them the rainforests of the sea. Mangroves form a foundation anchoring the land. Life thrives in these watery thickets. Wary ibis huddle among the wiry branches. Boat-billed heron guard their young. While a 12-foot boa goes out on a limb to earn its living. Cold-blooded, the boa needs to eat only occasionally, unlike manatees that spend their days grazing. After his close scrape with death, Woody moves to a new home and one step closer to the wild.
We try and teach him to be more self-reliant. We'll tie lettuces to the bottom of the pool and have them dangling from above so that he learns how to look out food.
Woody's long journey takes him to Wild Tracks, a private conservation organization run by Zoe Walker and her husband Paul. Today, Woody takes a leap forward, the plunge of his young life. For the first time, he's introduced to his own personal manatee-sized lagoon, a large fenced section of mangrove.
We've been getting him up to the point where he's healthy enough to put him in a natural body of water. And this is his first attempt at coping with waves, and he seems to be doing okay. We're going to keep a careful eye on him over the next few days.
Across the beaches of Gales Point, another debut takes place. It seems Woody isn't the only little creature getting ready to head out to sea. Leroy's hawksbills have hatched, and their urge to surf grows stronger and stronger. This is the launching pad for a distant and mysterious migration. If they survive to adulthood, female hawksbills return in time to this same spot to give birth.
They're beautiful, look at them. Beautiful going into the sea.
Leroy acts like a proud father, but he knows that when these hawksbills reach the sea, their chances of growing up are as little as 1 in 1,000.
You go to some of these nests, you're going to meet 150 little babies, small little turtles, heading out to the sea. And you're a part of this right here, and it make you feel good to just be a part of it, bring back something else that's going away. And if we don't ban it, then I would say after a while we ain't going to have no turtle in Belize, because they're dying on both sides. They're dying coming up as a baby, and they're dying when they get old, so they go through the whole cycle.
The little hawksbills hide in the aptly named turtle grass. Manatees graze these same meadows. The hungry giants easily consume 150 pounds of grasses and other plants a day. Woody isn't eating quite that much, but he's getting there. After more than a year penned in and pampered, Woody still eats out of the hand of his keeper, Paul, Zoe's husband. Soon he will go to sea and confront the real dangers of life on his own.
It's been here now for 15, almost 16 months. He came here January last year. And quite a different sized animal now compared with little pipsqueak that he was when he arrived. The time is right now for him to return to the wild. He's big enough now, he's weaned, and he's quite ready to learn to look after himself in the wild.
Woody's moment is at hand. He must be ready. He must survive on skills he's learned from humans, not his mother manatee. Where a brief year ago, wriggling Woody was carried by one handler, it now takes a team of men and women to move him around.
Okay, continue lowering down. Okay, we've got him about perfectly there. Hands off. All hands off? Yep. 340.
Weighing in at more than 300 pounds, Woody the Butterball gets ready to make his seagoing debut.
Yeah, see you, Angeline.
The plan is to take Woody to Gales Point for release. Nicole Will, Woody's first adoptive mother, manages the important transition. For the first time in Belize, a young manatee has been raised in captivity. A big win in more ways than one.
The interest to preserve them is not only that of an ecological standpoint or even an aesthetic standpoint, it's also of an economic standpoint. Tourism is becoming one of Belize's most highest earning industries in Belize, and people pay a lot of money to see these threatened species that they can't see anywhere else in the region so easily in such clear and beautiful waters. After release, I think another set of worrying will come along because he will be exposed to the natural threats that manatees face in Belize, such as boats, such as hunting.
A 2-week-old orphan once plucked from the high seas, Woody has survived backyard kiddie pools and a close encounter with death. Now, barely 2 years old, he must face the world alone. For the first time, he will swim into the wild, where he was born, where he belongs, a small victory in the preservation of the world.